eyes in the sky, gazing far into the...
Welcome back to another GeekaWhat video. In today's video, I'm taking you over the best $400 gaming PC build for the months of October and November 2015. This build is perfectly capable of smashing the latest AAA titles, including GTA 5 and The Witcher 3 at 1080p. 45 to 60 frames per second. This is a very high quality build. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. For the CPU, the processor, I went for the AMD Athlon X4 860K. It comes out the box clocked at 3.7 GHz, however it is overclockable even on the stock cooler that I've gone for, that it comes with for free, and I can reaffirm this as I have overclocked the CPU in my current personal budget gaming PC. And at $65, it really is great value. The motherboard, I went for the cheapest possible motherboard that won't affect performance. Motherboards don't directly affect performance, however the more you spend the better looking they get, and the more USB 3 ports and PCI-E 3 ports and extra fancy dancy doodads they tend to have. This build strikes a happy medium. It's a micro ATX motherboard, which means that you're not going to be paying a premium for small and getting everything compact, and you're not paying a premium for large, huge amounts of functionality either. It's the Asus A68HM-K. I've used this in quite a few of my builds. Supports the dual channel RAM as well that we're going to be using in this build. And talking of the dual channel RAM, it's Kingston HyperX Fury. You can get this in blue, white, red or black. The blue one is on the parts list at the moment, however you can change that to white, red or black freely. Two 4GB DIMMs will populate the slots on this motherboard in dual channel mode, which just gives a little bit of extra performance. It's clocked at DDR3 1600 MHz, so DDR3 is super cheap with the arrival of DDR4. DDR4 at the moment is just for Intel's higher end stuff and the enthusiast stuff, so you are, for gaming, DDR3 and DDR4 don't really make a whole lot of difference. So yeah, two 4GB DIMMs coming in at $45. For storage, I went for a hard drive, and this is the huge difference between this and my $500 build. My $500 build has a 6-core CPU, a nicer case, better power supply, and an SSD as well as a hard drive. So for the hard drive, I went for the Seagate Barracuda. It's a 1TB drive in a 3.5-inch standard hard drive form factor at 7200 RPM, which is your standard hard drive speed. It comes in at $46, which really does make this great value, and I've used these Barracudas on a daily basis for quite a while, and I can tell you that in my experiences, I've had a very positive experience from these drives. 1TB is more than enough to store all the latest movies, music, games, etc. etc. For the graphics card, the video card, I went for the MSI Radeon R7 370, based upon AMD's new 300 series, new 300 architecture, shall we say, with a 2GB frame buffer. 2GB now isn't a huge amount, however for 1080p you don't need anything bigger than a 2GB frame buffer. You can learn more about VRAM in the card section, the little eye in the top right now as well. Comes in at $144, really solid graphics card, so yeah, absolutely perfect for this build. For the case, I went for the Thermaltake Versa H21. It's an ATX mid-tower, which means it will support motherboards up to full-size ATX. I have gone for micro ATX, which is slightly smaller, not as small as it sounds, but it will just mean that you've got a bit more wiggle room and a lot more room to play with. Especially if this is your first build, then that does make it easier because you've got more space inside to try and fit the little finicky connectors in. So a nice case for $35 from Thermaltake. For the power supply, I went for the EVGA 430 watt. It's an 80 plus certified power supply, which means it's rated at over 80% efficiency at 20, 50 and 100% load scenarios, meaning that it will always output over 350-ish watts. And for $25, this is just amazing. And the TDP of this build, the total wattage, comes in at 294, meaning you've got quite a little bit. You've got 130 odd watts of headroom to play around with, and this is a really capable power supply from a really trustworthy brand. And that is it for this $400 gaming PC build for the months of October and November 2015. If you have found this video helpful or you have enjoyed it, do drop a like rating below. Remember to comment and please do subscribe. And if you do build this build or any of the builds on my channel, linked in the card section above, you can find the full playlist. Then tweet me a picture at GeekaWhat, and I'll be sure to favourite, retweet, follow, whatever it is that you want me to do. And yeah, I'll be really appreciative. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like, comment, rate, and please do subscribe. And we'll see you in the next GeekaWhat video.